This is Dan from MusicXplorer. We're here at the Stanhope House, the legendary blues club in Stanhope, New Jersey. Let's go see what John Klein, the current owner, has to say.
First of all, the Stanhope House is one of the only things around here that's older than I am. Built in 1790. It was built as a single-family house. Then it became a post office. Then it became a stagecoach stop between Philadelphia and New York City. Then eventually it became a rooming house, and it was used partially as a place for the people that were building the canal system. Eventually, some people say it might have become a brothel. Frank Kitts took it over. They basically ran this as a old-time music house, ragtime. The Kitts family still owned and operated a very small section of it as a bar, all the way up to the 70s. The Robleski family took it over, and they turned it into the house of the blues, the home of the blues. People like Willie Dixon came through here, John Lee Hooker came through here,
Oh, the great blues guy.
Muddy Waters came through here. I started in '83 with an unknown guy by the name of Stevie Ray Vaughan. He was thin, didn't look healthy, and it turned out that Mrs. Robleski, who ran the kitchen here, brought him in the kitchen, cooked him some breakfast, and I guess brought him back to life a bit. And he was so grateful that Stevie Ray Vaughan wound up doing dishes. Mama Robleski would be in here, and she would occasionally get a phone call, and she would say, "No, Muddy, if there's one thing I gotta tell you, if you wanna make my pancakes, Muddy, you gotta learn to use blackberry jam and not raspberry." It was Muddy Waters on the phone trying to figure out how to duplicate her pancakes.
Wow, that's funny.
I bought it in 2010, and I've had it ever since. We decided to do with it what should be done: recapture the blues.
That's what I read. You wanted to recapture the blues.
Absolutely. But we found out that the world had changed, that the blues had become much more of a niche market than it was in the past. That blues music and blues derivative music was not what it used to be. That alternative and punk and ska, and all of the other indie pop, all the other forms of music, reggae, had begun to take the major portion of the music scene. So we've kept our blues profile in here over the years.
Right.
But we've learned that we have to have something more eclectic in order to keep the club going.
People don't understand the history. The blues is here. I mean, it's got so much. You have to have the blues here one way or another.
Absolutely. Can't let the blues die.
No.
And so that's what we try to do. We try to, on a weekly basis, a monthly basis, bring in the blues artists, whoever they may be. We try to bring in new talent, Tab Benoit, Samantha Fish, the great band Indigenous, Eric Steckel rolls through. But then we have the old guard, the great Jimmy Thackeray, Geneva Magnus, Joe Louis Walker. We do what we can to make sure that the blues stays up front in the public eye, at least here at the house. And of course, we have our own house band, which is as good as it gets, called the Stanhope House Rhythm and Blues Review. We also have a smaller band called the Stanhope House All Stars, and they play basically the blues. That's our way of making sure that on our business card where it says the Stanhope House, home of the blues,
Right.
that it continues to be that way.
It's got to, because this is one of the places it really started, right? I mean, helped start.
Absolutely. I like to read an old lineup that the Robleski sketched, because the lineup starts with people like Stevie Ray Vaughan, the Fabulous Thunderbirds, Muddy Waters, and John Lee Hooker. It's actually a week-to-week lineup for about 6 months of who are coming to the club. And at the end, I usually say to people in my own way, I say, if Madison Square Garden, with all their money, tried to get these artists, get that lineup, they'd have trouble doing it. But the Robleskis, here in the middle of nowhere, were able to do it. I booked Guitar Shorty, and I booked him in the summer, and it was steaming hot. And I get a knock on that door over there, and I open it, and they're in a bright red suit with bright red patent leather shoes and a white hat with a red band, is Guitar Shorty. And he says to me, hey, I know I'm early, but are you open? I said, am I open? I said, come on, dude, get out of the heat. And he looked at me and he said, should I take off my shoes first? Meaning that when you go to a great temple, out of respect,
Right.
what you do is you take off your shoes. So you know where I'm coming from as far as how strong this place is authentically in blues music.